Hey guys, this is Jim, WT1W, and you're watching FEP Labs Radio. Thanks for stopping by, I appreciate it. So in my last video, we put together a method to refill a power station. So this is one of my power stations. This is an Aferiy, and I think this is a 2048 watt hour. I can't remember exactly, it doesn't matter. Not germane to the issue. Now, it happens to be fully charged at this time. And you can see at a zero load, it's saying that it has 99 hours of runtime. What I want to demonstrate in this is we're going to hook up our DC to DC boost converter, and we want to plug it into this and extend the runtime on this guy. And it should show us that we're extending that runtime. So this should go from 99 up, and that depends on what size battery you hook into this and how much juice you can push through it, how many watts you can push through the connection. Just a quick refresher, watts is power, amps is current, volts is electromotive pressure. Let's go with that one. This can take up to 500 watts of input based on, and this is the awkward part of this, because this thing is not light, based on these specs right here. So this is our inputs, and I can recharge this from wall power, and then I can also charge it through this XT90 connector here, and you can see that our input range here is 11.5 to 50 volts for 500 watts max. So if I hook up our boost converter into this, which is the plan, and then we plug that into the battery, I should be able to get up to 500 watts of input power to recharge this. So that ain't bad. Now, it's less than half of what I can get off of wall power, but if you're using this during an extended run situation, then 500 watts is what you got. And this is where you would hook in a solar charge controller to if you were using this to recharge off of solar. I don't really have solar for anything, so I would use a large battery to extend the runtime. One of the plans with this particular one, in the event of an extended power outage here, is in the wintertime I can run my furnace off this thing for quite a while. And if I throw a 12 volt battery on it, say a 100 amp hour battery, I can run my furnace for days. Let's get this thing hooked up and see what kind of numbers we get. So here is the adapter setup I made. Now, for the purposes of demonstration, this is only a 50 amp hour battery. So I have hundreds, I have a couple of 100s, and I have a 250, so, or 240, something like that. So obviously, bigger battery, longer runtime. The beauty of this is, and this depends on your power station, a lot of these can charge while they're being used. Some don't. Your mileage may vary. That depends on the power station you have. You also need to make sure that whatever boost converter you put in will supply the proper output voltage to this thing, and of course you need to make sure you have the right wiring. So here is our XT90. Here is a 12 volt nominal LiFePO 4 battery, and then we need to plug in our boost converter. So as a refresher, here's our boost converter, and this puts out up to 480 watts. Here's our inputs. And when you wire these up with your power pole connectors or whatever connectors you use, make sure you pay attention to the polarity. This is our input side here, and these are our output side right here. And you can see it's 48 volt, 10 amp max. So this is a 48 volt output boost converter. And you notice we have smaller wires here on the DC to DC converter. And again, pay attention to polarity. These are yellow and black. So let's make sure we're using red for positive and black for negative on this one. What we're going to do here is this is going to go to our battery, like so. And then this is going to go to our XT60 here. So now we are wired up to provide juice to our power station. I'm going to scoot the battery back out of the way a little bit. This is 10 gauge wire. You want to make sure you have fairly stout wire. And then all we need to do is plug this in over here. And if everything went right, this is going to work. And if it didn't, you're going to see me smoke my power station live and on the internets. This says full charge time 10 minutes. This thing is already charged. So I'm going to hook a load up to it and we'll run it a little bit and see what we get. I was afraid that it was going to do that. And you'll notice over here on the input side that we have 95-ish watts going in input. That's coming from our battery. There's no load on this thing. This is only its internal electrical use in process. So let me find a load and we'll see what numbers we can get. All right, so I've got a heater plugged in on the floor. You can't see it, it's not on camera. And I'm going to turn it on after I turn on the AC on this guy, which there's the button somewhere. There it is. All right, that's on. Let me fire the heater up. And just for record, it's July out here in the shop and I have an air conditioner running, but I'm going to run a heater. So you can see we're getting, keep in mind that this is full, so it's pretty much drawn off this battery. But we're getting 300 watts of input power coming off of our boost converter over here. So with a large battery, and of course I just have one heater running on this thing. With a large battery, this could run fridges, your furnace, whatever, for quite a good bit longer. Again, this is just a 50 amp hour LifePo. This is like what I would use for my annual POTA event. But other than that, it will charge this thing. It looks like to me that this is running strictly off of that battery at this point, while this is still fully charged. And again, the distinction to make here is that this is already full, so it's just using the battery. Still extending the runtime. So if I disconnect the battery, our input power dropped to 0. Our runtime is changing. And keep in mind, I'm running a heater here. A furnace is actually way more efficient than one of these little electric heaters. But I have, what is that, 84 minutes of runtime currently on this heater, and I'm putting out 1200 watts on this heater. And it's kind of overpowering the air conditioner. So you can see how that would actually work. So with the right battery, you can run stuff. Certainly refrigerators take almost no juice. So something like this could run a fridge for days on its own, throw in an extra battery on it with the boost converter setup I've shown you. And those fridges will last for, I don't know, because I'd have to do a lot of math and that makes my brain hurt. But you could probably run a fridge on this setup with a 100 amp hour battery for, I'm scientifically wild ass guessing here, 4 to 5 days for one fridge. 4 to 5, 6, 7 days for a furnace. The furnace doesn't use a lot of power. Now, I'm not talking about an electric furnace with strip heat. That's a whole different ball of wax. Your average home gas furnace only uses electricity to ignite the gas and to run the blower. So other than those two things, fire is what makes the heat. So we're not spending electricity to make fire, we're burning gas. So other than the initial startup of a furnace, it's not going to be pulling a whole lot of current or burning a whole lot of wattage. So something like this with a battery backup, literally you could run your gas furnace for at least a week, I would say, if not longer. And it depends on how much you want to run your furnace. I can live with 62 degrees. You know, if you're one of those people that want, like my grandpa who wanted the house on 82 all the time, your mileage is going to vary. But you can see what we get here. Now I'm going to let this run a couple minutes and I'll fast forward this, but we have 82 minutes of runtime. We're at 97% capacity. We're putting out 1200 watts. So I'm going to let this run and drain this a little bit, and then we'll plug our battery back in and see how that changes our runtime. It's about as much of the heater as I can tolerate out here right now, and I am running an air conditioner at the same time. So we're going to plug our battery back into the side. and see how that changes the equation here. And you can see our runtime is now going up, and we've got 2 hours of runtime, and that's with only a 50 amp hour battery on here. We're feeding this thing 500-ish watts, a little more than that actually. And I'm checking to make sure my wires are not overheating. They're warm, barely warm. They're warmer than ambient, but not much. So we have 2 hour runtime. We're feeding this thing 500 watts. She's pulling 1200 watts on that heater. So you can see that this will extend the runtime, and I've got a load running over here, down yonder, while we've got a battery hooked up. So we are supplying power both ways. Input power to the device to extend the runtime, and output power to run our load, which in this case is a small portable heater. That's it. So you can see here, we're cooking along. Now, I'm going to disconnect the load. That turned off our AC output here. And you can see that we're just charging at this point. And we're going to charge this guy back up to 100%, and I'm doing this at 500 watts off of the battery pack. So no matter how you're going to use this, you can use this just to recharge. If you have multiple 100 watt hour batteries, or 200, whatever you have, depending on your power station, you need to match the output of your DC converter to your power station. This particular one can take 48 volts, so that's what I'm giving it. Therefore, I get 500 watts. If your smaller power station probably doesn't take that much, it may only be a 15 volt input or 24 or something like that. So you need to make sure you match the output of your boost converter to the proper input of your power station. Again, different power stations will have different input specifications, so that is critical that you match those. You don't want to put 48 volts DC into a small power station that may only take 15 volts or 24 volts. And I will post a link to this in the description below. There are multiple models of this available in multiple input and output specifications, so you can pick the right one for your application. Guys, that is going to be all for this video. Hope you got something out of it. If you would, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. That's in the dingus below. Also, ring the bell below so you get notified whenever I post any new videos. Thanks, y'all. 73. Have a great day.